Folks. It's 8:23 a.m. and the 31st day of the month. 8th month. September will be remembered in the state of North Carolina as the day the storm went out to sea finally. And I'm looking at now is the guiding lines of the absolute proof of directed energy being used in the weather warfare along the highway lines of the east coast of South Carolina and North Carolina, and impacting and devastating the coast over here at a predictable landfall. As you can see, the beams come in and guideline this. Can't go west. Can't go north. And she's going to cruise straight out to sea because she's been pulsed hard and totally aimed. Keep energizing the back end of the spin. Keep that flow going. Heat that. Rushes to the cold. Makes this storm happen. And this is devastating to these people here and the people along the Gulf Coast that paid a terrible price yesterday. That marine is totally floated under a bridge. Yep, the one I showed you yesterday. It happened. So we're going to cruise in now. I do see that the video is rolling. And so I'm going to go now to the great countries of the ANZACians over here. And I'm going to pull up the feed so I can see some comments here. Volume off. I should be able to read your guys' comments. Right, guys, New Zealand. You got a bit of a dancer going on here. The tropical one and this they're gonna blend, and this one's gonna dominate. Is how it's gonna happen, and that'll dissipate on that side. And watch the dance you're gonna get. Okay, so this is Friday the 1st. And I'm going back to the 31st now, and really the only affected areas, weather-wise, that have any significance is right here. Okay, you got some action along the coast road because you had that heat out in the desert mixing with the cold from here and some tropical moisture from there, and then you've been set up for some very sudden supercell formation that's easy to do with the chem bombs, which they've also done again today. The hail I seen yesterday was is expected. Actually, I was not surprised at all. There's a lot of air in the trough there that's still cool. It's going to be filtering through the mountain passes and over the tops and adding to more cold that's running along the coast here. So, because this is turning, I'll show you. This is turning this direction, right? So she's kicking Antarctica from here up and over, right? And dragging some of that moisture back with it. From this one, it's kicking it in. This one here is spinning this direction here, right? That one kicked that way. This one's kicking this way towards this one, which is also kicking that way. So the pinch point here is forcing a lot of action here and a lot of condensation collisions to make the droplets bigger, or even the ice is up there. The crystals get bigger and bigger and fall, and you see your hails and sleets. I wouldn't be surprised to see some sleet down here in the Southlands down here over the next coming week, as the setup is perfect for it, because this is still continually taking this colder, drier air here up into the tropical moisture that's come down here through the Vanuatu pipeline down here. It's about to pinch. When you start to see elongations like this, the bubble up now is on the side for this side of the island here, right? So now this storm is free from Australia to go over, and a new one will form. You can also see the start of a bubble up here coming up on Monday, right? See the pinch right over the lakes. So that's going to be volatile. I'm going to be watching that very closely. Temperatures wise is going to be important to see of what you got. Right, it's cold here, but you're warm enough right here for the volatility to again go down in toward the northern rivers and along the state line here. The gap through here is an easy pass for it. But that cold air there is your fuel of storms. So it makes these areas very, very volatile for sudden formations of stuff. All they got to do is drop the catalysts, drop the chemical catalysts, and they got plenty of them to use. As you can see here, they're blowing up stuff going. This should just be going out to sea, but that's climbing north. See this one here? Boom, 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 boom. Went to plume. It's just how they do it. Watch. Oops, I'll go back in on that. Excuse me a moment. As you can see the tendrils there. If all the flows go in this direction, that shouldn't be like that. It's V formation, bomb the middle. Those expand toward that one. That could be a bit higher up. You'll get these toroid convections going on. And it fuels these supercells, as some of you are being impacted with today along the coastline and in the trough. Imagine it's very dramatic in the mountains here about these pinch points where your winds will be very high. Yeah, not good for the high-sided vehicles, the gusts that are coming from these geoengineered weather warfare storms that are aberrants of agendas are using to take and rape the land. As you can see, they drew some kind of devilish thing in the sky right here on their blue moon day ceremonies, you know, because they do dark magic, our oppressors do. They're not, they go in to pray to Jesus like you think they do. And I imagine they're doing something different in the basement. And we got Iron Man's face out here. Buh. And he's vomitational, isn't it? Look at this one going the wrong way. Well, you get this zigzag Masonic apron looking one here. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. And your swastika. You went from the devil side to the swastika. Right, you Baphomet over here. In your skies, they're doing dark magic. I'm telling you. Because it's right before your eyes. You can see it going on. And if you can't see it going on, open your eyes. I didn't ask you to accept it, because it's a terrible evil to accept that some people could do terrible things that they're doing. But, you know, you ever watch a horror movie? Well, you're fucking living one right now. And this is horrible to see as I move on up the coast towards beautiful surfers' paradises in Byron Bay. Big square edges to everything. These are nice, round, spinning supercells that you would see back in when I was a kid. Kids growing up now wouldn't know no difference. They wouldn't know that the coming of the skull and crossbones could mean toxic air. This chem bomb here is proceeding toward the Gympie area and over Glass House Mountains. A beautiful, beautiful sight to behold, the Glass House Mountains. That's such a beautiful sight when they ripped up the pyramid to put a road through it. They could have gone around. But you know, when you want to destroy indigenous culture while propping up their voice, I have a feeling it's going to end very badly for everybody. Because they say this is a proposed experiment, and I've been documenting it for a decade plus, very visibly. Look at this one out here in the sea. Over the top of these, like that wasn't enough cloud to block the sunlight. This is deliberate toxification of the land and the oceans, and making our food inedible, and making the seas unpalatable for the creatures that live there. When you get ibises and stuff hanging around eating your chips at the chip shop instead of eating mussels at the shore, you know their food has become unpalatable, and it's because of human activity. Humane beings don't do this. And well, we need to put excellence in the human and become humane beings with the other humane beings. I'm just watching this bomb boom going off repeatedly here in the middle of the ocean. Middle of the ocean. And they chemmed up that hurricane as it goes out to sea. You should see it. I'll pull up a worldview, and maybe if we're lucky, we'll be allowed to see it clearly without the lines all across it. Here's another Baphomet down here. See the horns. They're doing dark magic on a full moon night. Don't think that's not possible. It's going on in your skies today. Right there. 7:30 a.m. British Standard Time. We're still full moon at that Bohemian Grove right about 30 minutes. Yeah. My God, look at the geosculpting they've done. Look at the guilt here. Look at the EMF blasting the ocean with infrasonic pulses. See that haze going up through there? Boom. That's a pin line. That's EMF. It's not just outflow from a circulation. It's way over here. This is deliberate forcing of this into this mass here, so it doesn't dive down too soon into this mass here. So it gets carried into this mass here and will impact the coast of Tassie in the coming week. And we have some waveforms that sometimes can naturally occur. However, those look more like EMF because those would, with the wind direction here, it would tend to put the natural waveforms out actually in that direction here. Okay, so that won't be a natural occurrence. If this one was to do that today, it would put them in this direction here, actually right that way, because the low deck is moving a certain way. We get natural formations of what looks like electromagnetic frequency interference patterns just from the lift of stuff across the ocean, and maybe there'll be a couple spots showing that today. And if we go over here to the pipeline here, where they burst so many storms, all you see is cyclone seasonings in the sky, things to make cyclonic storms happen. Bomb over there next to Fiji and Labasa. See it? This whole system here is geoengineering, and it's a very, very toxic fallout that you wouldn't want to get in your cray and be eaten. See that plume right there, Fiji? I'm sure you could see that across the island looking out to sea. She snapped me a picture of it. It'll be glowing in the moonlight as they block that from you too. What a shame, what a shame, what a shame. Look like a buzzard. Or the wolf with the ears. I ain't kidding, this geoengineering is so blatant now. How you can even deny it to yourself makes you look like a fool. Don't be a fool's fool. Because I don't pity a fool. I really don't. I damn sure don't suffer them. Boom, 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 plume. There was the center emanation point, moving along with the cloud mass like a balloon would do. Very easy to do. Big bomb cluster right here. See it right here? Chemtrail, 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 chem bomb, and a what in the hell? With a bomb cluster right here in the very center, in a very geometric shape. A very predictable explosive outcome for a firecracker. And that went over that EMF on the low deck, see it? So you get lots of deployments going on, high and low. Big square out here on the low deck. Creating the vortices to pin this over in a certain direction to mix it with the one coming down from Vanuatu. That's going to mix over here and have two lows coming over. And it's going to drive terrible waves upon the shores. Erosion's going to be high, and some of the storms you get are going to be rather fiercely squally at times. And so we're going to be watching this very, very carefully. Looks like we get some very cold air down here near Tiki-Kiki-Kaka. Takaka. That's like thank you and kaka, all in one word. Yeah, thank you, government. We will now go down to kaka and vote. We'll lift dog's tail, press in center to vote. Small finger for result. It looks like some of your totals is what I'm trying to get to now. Over the next 10 days is not too bad. It's handleable. The trees need it. That's an inch of water. So let's give this to you in centimeters. America, catch up. Everything back in order. Yes. There's some heavy totals through here as far as new snows goes on the 10s. It wasn't looking too fierce, right? Wasn't looking too fierce. It's almost a little too little over these Southlands, so they'll be getting a bit of a break. But any rain that they get is going to be melting snows, which is not good at all. And the temperatures you're going to be experiencing over the next week is a little warmer than you have had. The trees will be freaking out a bit, but that's still nothing you're going to want to go walking around in your thong. You want to have some socks on. Don't be walking around in your underwear on the beach either. Put some clothes on, people. Have some respect. Class is back. Yeah, there's a lot of cold for you guys. Big winter time still. It's still winter. You can call it spring. But you know, Australia can't say that. They're going to be burning. They'll be absolutely roasting. And this will be at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon when they hit their highs, And then they go in the deserts at night. And I'll tell you what, all that action is going to be fueling this down towards the coast here. Cold air, warm air, tropical moisture, volatility. And on that day there, you get a big pressure line here of a 16 curving a wind trough through the fucking heat, and that's right there is a fire fueler. Okay, I'm watching this very, very closely. It's the wind set up right now from the passes on that day there, and the Thursday the 7th is very, very high risk for fire. It's going to be good cold up in the mountains up here, so I imagine their ski slopes will last just a little bit longer for the profit mongers. Or should we call them profit mongrels? The Baron Gender Prophet Mongrels. The Earls of Scumbagia. My gosh, there's some roasted heat here. Out West USA, you're going to be having some heat coming too. See right through here in Texas? Here will be burning, man. Absolutely, that's hot. And it's going to fuel a lot of storms towards the east and the Santa Ana winds toward the west. They'll actually go more toward the west because the hot flows towards the cold. The dominant cold is this direction. So you'll get a blur of it out here causing a heat wave. Boy, it's not going to be very pleasant to be in Chicago. Tuesday the 5th. And let's see, that would be at about dinner time, 6 o'clock at night. Right? And you get your cool down. So these cool downs at night and these heats up in the day is going to cause the Santa Ana wind. So the fire hazard over here in California will continue. This also is going to fuel winds that are going to fuel fires out here out in Canada as well. The conditions are absolutely ripe for it. Look at that cold pocket here as fall starts to descend upon the northern hemisphere. That's a heat wave. That's an EMF line. They're going to fry it up. So I'll be looking for the beams to be burning out the areas and bleaching those longhorn skulls there out there in the hot areas of Texas, of which they mess with. My gosh, you won't be on Baja either. That's hot. Well, boy, it's nice in Acapulco. There's some nice temps. Hey, that sounds nice. Oh, man. Imagine me on that beach that day. Nice stow wind blowing up the coast. Yeah. In Hawaii, it's a bit cold up there. You gonna get some snows up on them peaks? No. It's cold. So that again is gonna fuel the winds. But the winds should be going, well, they should prevail this way. But with that, like that hot, cold, and that hot, yeah, that's going to cause backwind that direction. So you're going to get a reverse wind on that day for sure. I watch these things. I look for where they're burning is. I have to read agendas that end up yielding accurate forecasts because you look at what they asked for in the town that you said no to. Yeah, you guys got some warm coming, so get prepared for that. Get your fans blown off. If you get that chemtrails that have been collected on them all year before you blow them all in your house. Zero up says this is 26 degrees forecast in Adelaide for Sunday. Well, you know, your Sunday would melt if it was that hot. How hot's the fudge that they nudge? That is the question. So now I would like to go look. I don't want to look. I've already have. Here's the chemtrails feeding that hurricane in the United States. Here's more proof of geoengineering up the skies. Could they have made more of a shit show mess than this? Yes, they could. Go up here. Hey, the fines. What the hell is that? You don't see it yet? This is not geoengineering. This isn't happy birthday, I love you, sky writing off the coast so your girl will marry you. This is poisoning the ocean. That's right. And this is New Jersey. And this is Delaware. What is Delaware? A bunch of chem bombs. That's what Delaware. She didn't wear in New Jersey, that's for sure. Old dad jokes. Never died. This is on the other edge of the pin line where the EMF needed extra propagation. Of course, this nudge line that'll draw that straight line to keep the storm from proceeding any further north. And they laid plenty of chem out there to do this. Chemtrail after chemtrail after chemtrail. The chemical attack of weather warfare upon the peaceful populace of the United States of America is continuing right now before your eyes. See it, breathe it, know it. It's in your organic garden. It's in your water. It's too small to filter out, causing chemicals that make your water not structured properly. It causes vibrations in the body that are very unhealthy. And they make you feel not at ease, that's for sure, everybody I talk to. And as the angel of death here over Florida kind of formation, what in the hell is that? That is not your puffy white Bob Ross cloud. This is geoengineering blatantly destroying beautiful communities in the United States over the last 48 hours. Because they got manipulations going on, and they moved this thing right over the top of you, right over that corridor, right over the highways, right over my mother's house. And I will not be silent in the face of your ignorance and denial when I'm watching EMF beams, directed energy weapons, steering a storm straight into a cove and ruining a town and ruining businesses like it's nobody's business to even ask about it. And the fanning of the waves up here is very obvious. The backside of the storm. If they hit it there, the storm circulation would have died. Like circulating a drain and putting your hand in the way. Right in the center, it'll stop. And they chose not to do that. They made sure the storm's momentum kept going. They made sure it rolled over my beautiful states on the east coast of the United States, and they're decimating the trees. They're flooding out communities and destroying your food supply and the stone fruits that it's harvest time of, and all the economic benefits that provides each community. Will the farmers be able to pay their loans? Will they get their fruit to market? Will we ever say no more, no more? I am not the system's whore, and that's all I can do. I'm out of. I'm gonna lose my composure. Big love. Peace. This sucks.